What's going on, everybody? It's Sean here, and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Nike Zoom Pegasus Turbo in the Barely Gray and Hot Punch colorway. First off, I just want to apologize for my raspy voice. I've been battling something for the past few days, so my throat's pretty much killing me right now, but I'm going to try my best and get this review out there for you guys. These Pegasus Turbos retailed for $180 US or $240 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is Barely Gray, Hot Punch, White, and Black. So the Pegasus Turbo is an adaptation of the recently released Pegasus 35 model. While the silhouettes of both shoes appear to be the same, inside the sneaker though they are completely different. The Pegasus Turbo builds upon the Vaporfly 4% that featured that Zoom X cushioning technology and incorporates it into a running shoe that's more meant for everyday running as opposed to the Vaporfly 4% that was more meant for race day running only. So before I go on with the review, I just want to give you guys a heads up that my opinion is based purely on 3 outdoor runs. So my opinions on this shoe could potentially change with added wear and added mileage on the shoe. So the upper portion of the shoe is constructed using fly mesh, which is basically a combination of a mesh underlay with a sort of plastic netting or overlay on top. This is done in this barely gray color, but to my eyes, this looks more like a pale green. So while the fly mesh is very flexible, I wouldn't say that it's very stretchy. Giving you additional support around the midfoot, we have Nike's Flywire cables, which originate from the base of the midfoot and extend all the way to the top where the eyelets are. The Flywire really helps with giving you more of a customizable lockdown fit. On the midfoot of the lateral side, we have this oversized Nike swoosh done in this Hot Punch color. And if you take a closer look, you'll see how this swoosh actually extends onto the midsole, and in this area, this is painted. On the medial side, the swoosh is also done in Hot Punch, but it is much smaller than the swoosh found on the other side. Running down the center of the shoe, we have this racing stripe that's done in this Hot Punch fused material. As I flip these over, you can see how this stripe extends over and onto the outsole itself. So the tongue is constructed out of a very soft fabric, and then printed on top of the racing stripe on top of the tongue, we have a variety of words and symbols. So for example, Nike Pegasus 35 Turbo, we have this Nike pinwheel logo, we have an icon of a track, and the checkered racing flag. Flipping these over to the back heel, so there's an internal heel counter that gives you additional support around the back, and then overlaid on the exterior, we have this fused material done in this barely gray color with this triangular hit of 3M found in the center. The interior of the shoe is also done in that same barely gray color, and I want to point out how the back heel where the Achilles is, it flares outwards, which is supposed to provide less irritation around the back of your foot. Taking a look at the insoles, so these come with a Hot Punch colored insole with Nike running branding on the heel in black. Moving on to the midsole, which is arguably the most important aspect about this shoe, the Pegasus Turbo's midsole is constructed out of 2 different layers. So the top layer that's closest to your foot is Nike Zoom X foam. So this is what Nike calls their unicorn foam, as it's the same foam found on the Vaporfly 4%. Underneath the Zoom X foam, we have a layer of Nike React foam. So Nike React, which is the same foam found on the midsole of the Epic Reacts, this is a little bit more durable than the Zoom X, which makes sense putting it on the lower portion of the shoe, as this is the area of the shoe that's probably going to come into contact with the ground. Underneath the heel on the lateral side, we have the Zoom X branding, and then flipping it over to the medial side, here we have that Nike pinwheel once again, with a bunch of text that reads, "Engineered to the exact specifications of world-class runners, making runners faster." Another thing I want to point out about the midsole is that towards the back heel, it comes to a point and it's not rounded like your typical sneakers are. This is supposed to help with the transition of the shoe if you guys do run from heel to toe, which you're technically not supposed to. With Nike Zoom X though, one of the negative aspects about this amazing foam is that it wrinkles up very, very easily. So even if you just try them on in store and just walk around a few steps, you're already gonna see the creases on the foam. Flipping these over to the bottom, as you guys take a look at the outsole, so in the middle portion, we have this exposed React foam, but then on the forefoot and the bottom heel, we have an overlay of black rubber. Throughout, we have this pentagon-shaped traction pattern, which gave me no issues on my runs. Unlike the Epic Reacts where there is barely any rubber covering the outsole, I feel much safer about the durability of these shoes because of how much more rubber Nike implemented on the outsole. From a sizing standpoint, so my feet measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me pretty snug, but in a good way. One thing I wanted to point out is that this toe box slopes downwards, so if your toes are right at the edge, you might feel some pinching from a top-down perspective. I've heard other people recommend going up a half size, but when I tried on the 10.5 in store, while it felt great around the toe box area, it felt like there was a little bit too much room from a length perspective. Because I am running in them, I didn't want there to be too much room and have my feet sliding around the shoe. To give you guys a point of reference, I also get a size 10 in the Vaporfly 4% and the Flyknit Trainer. On the other hand, I get size 10.5 in the Epic React Flyknit, the Zoomfly SP, the Vapor Max, as well as the regular version of this shoe, the Pegasus 35. So I definitely recommend trying them on in store if you can. Maybe your feet won't be exactly like mine, but the best that I can say is true to size if you want a snug fit, or go a half size up if you want more room around the toe box, or if you do plan on just wearing these casually. Comfort wise, so I gotta say these shoes are absolutely amazing. If you're looking for that same sensation as the Vaporfly 4%, but you're looking for more of an everyday runner, then this is definitely a shoe that you'd want to consider. Straight out the box, this cushioning is very, very soft, and I didn't suffer from the instability issue that I faced on the Vaporfly 4%. This feels much more like a regular running shoe, it just happens to feature a layer of ZoomX foam. In terms of how I felt on my runs, I personally feel like these aren't really meant for fast running, as the softness of the midsole doesn't give you as responsive of a ride as you probably want. However, for someone like me, who's just an amateur runner who just does it just to stay healthy, I really enjoy the feeling of these Pegasus Turbos on my feet. Again, not to repeat myself, but it felt like the best of both worlds, taking aspects of the Vaporfly 4% and fusing it with the Pegasus 35 to create a really, really good running shoe. So with all that being said, now let me lace these up and show you guys how these look on feet. For those of you who are wondering, how do these compare to the Ultra Boost? Without going into too much detail, from strictly a cushioning standpoint, these are definitely more soft and more plush on your feet, but I'd give the nod to the Ultra Boost in terms of responsiveness. So the cushioning setups are both good, but both different, and it really depends on what you need as a runner. So for those of you who do want to give the ZoomX foam a try, I definitely recommend trying on these Pegasus Turbos. These should still be available online at Nike.ca in Canada and your local Nike store. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Nike Zoom Pegasus Turbo. If you guys like this video, be sure to give me that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below as well. Give me a follow on Instagram at sgo8 and check out my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.